Hi everybody, in this video you will see how I made this simple door with very simple looking mechanism. It's just a door for my wood storage place in my workshop. I used pine wood for the frame and 9mm plywood for the face. If you want to see how I built it, watch the video with me. I looked in my wood storage place and I find this 3x3 4-meter long pine, and I jointed two faces in this DIY jointer, and I will use it for the frame. Then I took it to the table saw and ripped it into a half to have a 1.5 inches by 3 board. Then I put it aside and bring the other two pieces and rip it into a half to have a 1.5 by 1.5 pieces of wood. Then I took it to my crosscut sled. You can check the link to see how I made it. To make repeatable cuts, I put this extension with a stop block to make the cuts easier. And I use the pocket hole jig to assemble the frame. It is simple, easy to use and relatively strong. I use the large framing square to check the squareness and continue with the pocket holes. I cut this little piece of wood to use it as a spacer between the pieces. I managed to cut this full sheet of plywood on my workstation. You can check the link to see how I built it. This piece of plywood is 9mm thick. Then I use a brad nail to fix the plywood to the frame. I give it a little sanding with 120 grade sandpaper. Then I mark the location of the door hinges to route it with the router. I don't have a straight router bit, so I use this instead. If you have a straight router bit, you can use it. I set the height of the router bit with the door hinges. Then I routed it carefully. And some cleanup with the chisel. Looks good. Then I marked the location of the screws and I drilled a pilot hole. I always use a pilot hole to prevent splitting of the wood. Then I did the same thing on the wall. Mark the location, route it, and pre-drilled and screw it. I used this small piece of teak wood to make the doorknob. I made a mistake by cutting it at the table saw first. I had to fix it that way to do this cut at the drill press. I cut this 8mm threaded screw with the angle grinder, then I fixed it to the doorknob with 5-minute epoxy. This is a 2mm steel plate that I will use for the locking mechanism. Then I rounded the edges and smoothed it with this disc sander. I carefully hold it with this locking plier. And I drill it at the drill press for the screw. I have no idea about wood turning, but I wanted to give it a try at the drill press. Eventually it came pretty good. I used a wood file to shape it and sandpaper to smooth it. Looks good. I used this piece of wood to make sure that the drill are perpendicular to the door, and I drilled the place for the doorknob. I marked the location of the metal plate and cut it with the oscillating multi-tool. Yes, it's very simple, but it will do the job. I cut the excess of the screw, and that's it. I used wipe and poly for the doorknob. It's a beautiful type of wood. This is teak wood. Then I continue the decorative painting of the wall to the door. And this is how it finally looks like. This is the end of this video. I hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe to my channel. If you have any suggestion, write it down below in the comment section, and thanks for watching.